Hey Canucks fans, hope you're well. Still relatively quiet heading up to the July 1st free agent, day one of the free agent period on July 1st. But one name that's starting to pick up steam in the Vancouver market, and admittedly not just today, he's kind of been around ever since the season ended, is forward Jake Guentzel, most recently of the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, Frank Saravalli picked up the story. Well, he didn't just pick it up. He I guess, revisited it this morning. He's got his rolling daily top 75 free agent list. And it's not just Saravalli. It's also Sat Shaw's been in on this, Rick Dollywall, many, Elliot Friedman, many insiders. But the way that Frank Saravalli laid it out, he actually pegged the Canucks as the favorite to land Jake Guentzel, if not the favorite, at least one of the favorites. And if you're a Canucks fan and you want the Canucks to make a big splash, then this should be music to your ears. Again, this is not a guarantee. We are still 2 weeks away from free agency. Technically, they're not even supposed to talk to free agents until July 1st, but it's always amazing how quickly things happen within a few hours of the free agent period opening on July 1st. So let's explore what Jake Guentzel would mean to the Vancouver Canucks. Now, before we do that, I guess, I've been talking on my live streams, on my shows, just about how quiet it's been around the Vancouver Canucks. We know there's 9 UFAs, we know there's 2 RFAs, and we haven't heard basically about any of them. And maybe that means that some of them are out the door, i.e. Ian Cole, likely Dakota Joshua, likely Elias Lindholm. Maybe some guys are going to stay, maybe like a Tyler Myers, like a Teddy Bluger, and maybe there's still hope for other guys to stay, like Nikita Zadorov. So I think in the big picture, when I step back and I look at it as a Canucks fan, as someone who so desires for them to do something, I keep saying this, that maybe there's a bigger play in the works. That the reason why we haven't heard anything about our 11 free agents, 9 UFAs and 2 RFAs, is because, yeah, of course, they're not going to lose all 11, but especially the RFAs, but a couple of them are coming back, but maybe the majority of them aren't coming back, and they're going to instead reallocate the money like they did last year when they brought in guys like Susie and Bluger and Cole, and then a little bit later in the summer, Pius Suter. So let's talk about Jake Guentzel through those eyes. Obviously, a very good player. He's if you call the Canucks' number one need a dynamic scoring winger to play with Pettersson, then he is probably, along with Reinhart. I'm not sure Reinhart's a center or a center or a winger. No, Reinhardt's a winger. So I'd say that Reinhart and Jake Guentzel are the two top scoring wingers that are out there, and I fully expect Reinhart to stay in Florida. Look at the success they're having. So let's focus on Guentzel. He's basically been a point per game player his entire career. He was drafted in the 3rd round in 2013 by the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then he came up as a rookie. Remember, he came up from Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and he got 33 points in 40 games in his first season. Then in a sophomore season, his first full season, still very productive as a sophomore, 48 points in 82 games. And then after that, he's basically been a point per game player for his entire career, his peak being 84 points in 76 games 3 seasons ago. And even this year, he had 52 and 50 in Pittsburgh, and then another 25 and 17 in Carolina. So that means he had 77 points in only 67 games this year, which is very impressive. And then in the playoffs, even better, 67 points in 69 games. So almost a true point per player in the playoffs. And then regular season, 491 points in 520 games. But like I said, that's only because of the sophomore season was the only season where he wasn't flirting with that point per game mark. So we know how good Guentzel is. We know he can skate. We know he's got amazing hands, and we know he's a sniper. He really is. And that's why he's had seasons of 40 goals twice, and then another 36 in there. So this is a bona fide 30 to 35 goal scorer. He had 30 this year, 22 plus 8. So yeah, he's a 30 goal scorer, and the only one that we have on the wing that's like that is Brock Boeser, and we're hoping that Boeser can duplicate or at least come close to his wonderful season of last year. Here are some other factors that Frank Saravalli laid out that many people already know about already. Number one, there's a need, and regardless of money, term, agents, whatever, history, the one thing you do as a team in free agency is you have to address needs. The Canucks did that last year, bringing in Susie and Cole to boost up their blue line, and we saw that blue line was good. Not great, but good throughout the playoffs. And then we've already everyone's identified that the Canucks' number one need this year is a scoring winger. So Jake Guentzel obviously fits that. If you keep Besser with Miller, which I'm sure you will, then you have a perfect complementary player to Elias Pettersson in Jake Guentzel. Someone who has skill, someone who could match Pettersson's IQ, and someone who's got a lot of good hands where if PD doesn't want to shoot so much, he can be the setup man, and with his creativity and his passing, his great passing, and then Guentzel could be the finisher. So you have a built-in winger for Elias Pettersson. A couple other things, obviously. There's history with this player. Rick Tocchet coached him. He was the assistant coach in Pittsburgh while Jake Guentzel was playing. And then that was while Rutherford and Alvin were part of the management team in Pittsburgh. So there is familiarity with the management side in Alvin, in Rutherford, and even with the coach, Rick Tocchet. Another lesser factor, but still an important one to consider, is they share the same agent in Ben Hankinson as Brock Besser. So Brock Besser, who, yes, he's going to be up for an extension of his own next year, but between if Besser's agent, Besser and Guentzel share the same agent, maybe he only likes blonde wingers, I'm not sure. But yes, if they share the same agent, then every little bit helps. So Besser could, through either directly to Jake Guentzel or through his agent, could talk about the merits of playing in Vancouver and so on and so forth. There was a story making the rounds a couple of weeks ago that Guentzel doesn't want to play in Canada, but that it seems like that's not an issue, and I think depending on how much money you put in front of him, you can change his mind pretty quick. So I want to throw that out to you, Canucks fans. When you hear all those things, a line mate for PD, history with Alvin, Rutherford, and Tocchet, same agent as Brock Besser, and likely Saravelli's suggesting, and like many people have thought, that if the Canucks indeed are walking away from guys like Lindholm and Joshua, and then there's going to be money. There's going to be money to spend. And I guess my final question to you is, would you rather them spend, say, an $8.5 to $9 million on a guy like Jake Guentzel, right? So go big fish hunting, and Guentzel's 30 years old, so he's still got probably a good 5 or 6 years, good years left in him. So do you spend $8.5 to $9 million on a guy like Guentzel, or do you take two lesser guys? And for example, I'll use Tyler Toffoli and Anthony Duclair, who together might make $9 million between the two of them. What would you like? Would you rather have two wingers in your top six who are okay, but not like amazing? Or would you want one of the biggest, the biggest names out there in free agency in someone like Jake Guentzel? Those numbers aren't going to be perfect. Maybe Toffoli and Duclair are going to make a bit more than Guentzel combined, but you guys know what I'm saying. And you can insert any names you want in that example. So again, would you rather go after one big fish in Jake Guentzel or two medium-sized fish with that same money? Let me know in the comments below. We'd love to know your thoughts as well. As I look at the rest of the week in terms of live streams, my next stream is tomorrow night, so Wednesday night. I hope you join me at 10 o'clock for that. And then I'm going to be doing a birthday stream before I turn 50 or while I turn 50. That'll be on Friday night, but I will determine what time that's going to be, and I'll share that with you during my Wednesday night live stream. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate and Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. Thank you to legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovenlander, legendary Andrew Chang, and to Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Thanks for all your support, and thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Always appreciate you. Never ever take you for granted. On your way out, subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, become a member, upgrade your membership, and most importantly, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Would you support the Canucks going after Jake Guentzel for all those reasons I listed, or would you rather the Canucks spend their money on two players as opposed to one, also targeting beefing up their top six? Let me know. Love to read, react, reply as always. Thanks again for watching. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.